10 things you should do every morning. Stoic morning routine. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. In a world that constantly tries to dictate how we should feel, think, and act, imagine possessing the power to find inner peace and happiness, regardless of the circumstances swirling around you. That's not just powerful, it's revolutionary. It's about taking control, not of the world, but of something far more important and absolutely within our reach, our own minds. Before we dive into a Stoic-inspired morning routine, let's unpack what Stoicism itself is, a philosophy that's both ancient and strikingly relevant today. Stoicism is a school of thought founded in Athens around 301 BCE by Zeno of Citium, a merchant who turned to philosophy after losing everything in a shipwreck. What began as a personal quest for meaning grew into a practical framework for living well, later shaped by figures like Seneca, a Roman statesman and playwright, Epictetus, a former slave-turned-teacher, and Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, whose private reflections and meditations remain a cornerstone of Stoic wisdom. At its heart, Stoicism isn't about grim endurance or suppressing emotions, as some might assume. It's a vibrant guide to thriving amid life's chaos by focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, while accepting what we cannot, like external events or others' opinions. The Stoics believed that true happiness, or eudaimonia, often translated as flourishing, comes from living virtuously, cultivating traits like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. They saw life as a training ground for character, where challenges aren't curses, but opportunities to practice resilience. A famous Stoic idea is the dichotomy of control, best summed up by Epictetus. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. This isn't passive resignation. It's empowerment. By mastering our inner world, we gain freedom from the outer one. Marcus Aurelius, ruling an empire amid war and plague, wrote to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Stoicism also embraces reason as our guiding light, urging us to align our lives with nature's rational order, what's true and necessary, rather than fleeting or frivolous. It's not about detachment for its own sake, but about caring deeply for what matters while letting go of what doesn't. The Stoics weren't joyless. They valued gratitude, community, and even humor. Seneca once quipped that we should laugh at life's absurdities rather than lament them. This philosophy teaches us resilience, gratitude, and the art of living a fulfilled life, not as abstract ideals, but as daily practices. So why apply Stoicism to your mornings? Because how you start your day shapes how you live it. In our fast-paced, distraction-filled 21st century, Stoicism offers a timeless antidote, tools to face modern chaos without losing your cool, find calm in the storm, and discover happiness in the simplest things. It's about transforming your mornings from something you dread into a powerful launchpad for a day filled with purpose and joy. This isn't just a history lesson. It's about you, your life today, grounded in a tradition that's guided people through centuries of uncertainty. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the noise of life, struggled to find a moment's peace, or are curious about how ancient wisdom can be your secret weapon now, stick around. This might just be the guide that changes everything for you. Let's dive into the Stoic strategies that can help us craft not just a morning routine, but a life filled with intention, resilience, and true happiness. I implore you to give your full attention to this from start to finish. If you've made it here, you're not like everyone else. You're a standout, someone who seeks depth and wisdom. Your dedication to absorbing this content in full sets you apart even further. Letter 1. Discover your purpose. Ikigai. This might sound like a fancy term, but Ikigai is actually a beautifully simple yet profound concept rooted in Japanese culture. The word itself combines iki, life, and gai, value or worth, roughly translating to a reason for being or that which makes life worthwhile. It's about discovering the sweet spot where four key elements intersect: what you love, your passion, what you're good at, your skills, what the world needs, your contribution, and what you can be paid for, your livelihood. When these align, you find a purpose that not only excites you, but also sustains you, mentally, emotionally, and even practically. Imagine waking up each morning fueled by this clarity, a sense of direction so compelling that hitting snooze feels irrelevant. Ikigai isn't a new age buzzword. It's a philosophy with deep cultural roots, often linked to the longevity and contentment observed in places like Okinawa, Japan, where people live with a strong sense of purpose well into old age. It's less about chasing grand achievements and more about finding joy and meaning in daily existence, whether through work, relationships, or personal pursuits. For example, a gardener might find ikigai in tending plants, passion, mastering horticulture, skill, providing beauty or food worlds need, and earning a living from it, payment. But it doesn't have to be tied to a job. It could be as simple as nurturing your family or creating art for your community. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor, didn't use the term ikigai, but his teachings resonate deeply with it. He wasn't just about enduring life's hardships with a stiff upper lip. He believed we're all here to play a meaningful role in the grand scheme of things. He urged us to approach each day as an opportunity to fulfill our purpose with integrity and passion, contributing something valuable to the world. In a Stoic sense, ikigai aligns with living virtuously, acting in accordance with reason and our unique capacities, not for external praise, but for inner fulfillment. So, how do you uncover your ikigai? It starts with introspection. Quiet, honest reflection, ideally in the stillness of the morning. Ask yourself, what am I passionate about? What do I excel at naturally? What does the world need that I can offer? What can sustain me practically? Don't worry if the answers aren't immediate. Ikigai isn't a quick fix, but a journey of exploration. Try journaling your thoughts, experimenting with new activities, or noticing what energizes you most in your daily life. Over time, patterns emerge, revealing where these four circles overlap for you. This quest isn't fluffy self-help. It's a practical framework for a life rich in meaning. When your mornings begin with even a glimmer of your ikigai, mundane tasks gain significance. Your relationships deepen because you're more present, your creativity flows because you're tapped into your passions, and happiness becomes a steady presence rather than a fleeting guest. As Marcus Aurelius might put it, it's about doing the work day by day with dedication, aligning your actions with a purpose that reflects who you are and what you're here to do. So, tomorrow morning, ponder your ikigai. What could pull you out of bed with eagerness? It's a slow unfolding, a Stoic practice of finding your place in the larger tapestry of life. Mub 2. Prepare the night before. The ancient Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, were big on the idea that our actions should be purposeful, not just random acts thrown into the wind, but deliberate steps guided by our inner compass. This philosophy extends beautifully into how we prepare for the day ahead, starting the night before. Here's the deal. The quality of your morning begins with how you spend your evening. It's tempting to binge watch your favorite series until the wee hours, or scroll through social media until your eyes blur. But let's pause and consider how that sets you up for the next day. Your brain needs time to unwind, process the day's events, and recharge for what's ahead. That's where a solid pre-sleep routine comes into play. Imagine treating your evening routine with the same respect and intention as you would any other important aspect of your life. This isn't about rigid self-discipline that sucks the joy out of your evenings. It's about creating a space that supports your well-being and aligns with your goals for the next day. For instance, limiting screen time an hour before bed isn't about denying yourself relaxation. It's about giving your mind the cue that it's time to wind down, making it easier to fall asleep and wake up refreshed. Planning a bit for the next day can also be a game changer. It could be as simple as jotting down your top 3 priorities for tomorrow. This act alone sets a clear direction, ensuring you wake up with a sense of purpose. And here's where the Stoic mindset really shines. It's about acknowledging what's within our control and letting go of what's not. We might not be able to control every detail of our day, but we can certainly influence how we start it. And let's not forget about some deep breathing or meditation to calm the mind. This practice isn't just fluff, it's a powerful tool that signals to your body it's time to rest. Inhaling deeply and exhaling slowly helps reduce stress, lowers your heart rate, and prepares your body for deep, restorative sleep. It's like pressing the reset button, ensuring you wake up not just physically refreshed, but mentally and emotionally as well. 3. Avoid morning distractions. In today's always-on world, this might sound like a Herculean task, but it's absolutely vital for setting the tone of your entire day. Picture this: the first moments of your morning, untainted by the digital clamor of emails, social media notifications, or the buzzing news cycle. It's just you, your thoughts, and the serene quiet of the dawn. That's not just refreshing, it's empowering. Marcus Aurelius was a strong advocate for living with intention and focus. He wasn't distracted by the notifications of ancient Rome, and believe me, he had his share of distractions. Instead, he emphasized the importance of concentrating on the present moment and the task at hand. He knew something that's even more relevant today. The quality of your attention determines the quality of your life. So, how do we apply this ancient wisdom in the modern age? First, it's about creating a morning space that's intentionally free from digital distractions. This isn't about shunning technology, but rather choosing not to let it dictate the start of your day. It's tempting to roll over and immediately check your phone, but that instantly puts you in a reactive state, responding to the demands and dramas of the external world. Instead, give yourself the gift of a peaceful start. Imagine dedicating the first hour of your day to activities that nourish your soul and sharpen your mind. Maybe it's reading, meditating, journaling, or simply enjoying a cup of coffee as you gaze out the window. This isn't wasted time. It's an investment in your well-being. By avoiding distractions, you're not just avoiding stress, you're actively creating a reservoir of peace and focus that you'll draw from throughout the day. Making the most of your mornings isn't about adding more to your to-do list. It's about subtracting the noise that doesn't serve you. It's about prioritizing what truly matters before the day's demands start pulling at your attention. This is where the Stoic practice of focusing on what's within your control comes into play. You might not be able to control the flood of emails waiting for you, but you can control how and when you choose to engage with them. So, tomorrow, challenge yourself to start the day on your terms. Resist the urge to dive into the digital world first thing. Instead, anchor yourself in the present moment, savoring the peace and potential that the morning holds. 4. Wake up consistently. Stoicism, at its core, is about understanding what is within our control and acting with virtue and intention in those areas. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. These guys weren't just talking about enduring life's hardships with a stiff upper lip. They were advocating for proactive engagement with life, taking charge of our actions and our mindset. Waking up consistently is a practice that embodies this philosophy. It's a declaration that we are in control of how we start our day, that we are not at the mercy of whims or external pressures. Building a life, as Stoicism suggests, step by step with contentment in each action, is a powerful concept. It reminds us that big changes start with small, consistent actions. Waking up at the same time each morning might seem like a small thing, but it's a cornerstone habit that sets the stage for everything else. It's about creating a stable foundation for your day, where you're not rushing from the moment you open your eyes, but rather starting with a sense of control and purpose. But here's the thing. Consistency is challenging. It's supposed to be. The early days of trying to wake up at the same time each morning can feel like an uphill battle. Your bed feels more comfortable than ever, and the temptation to hit snooze just one more time can feel irresistible. This is where the Stoic practice of perseverance comes in. It's about reminding yourself why you're doing this, about the person you're becoming through this discipline. It's about seeing beyond the immediate comfort and focusing on the long-term benefits this habit will bring into your life. Becoming a morning person, then, is not just about the mornings themselves. It's about embodying the qualities that make you resilient, focused, and intentional throughout your day. It's a practice in self-mastery, in aligning your actions with your values, and in cultivating the kind of life you want to live, one morning at a time. So how do we make consistency our ally? Start by setting a clear intention the night before. Remind yourself why waking up at a specific time is important to you, whether it's for quiet time, exercise, or a relaxed start. Then, create an environment that supports this habit, like going to bed earlier or letting natural light wake you gently. Number 5. Practice self-compassion. Amidst all this talk of discipline, consistency, and waking up with the sun, it's paramount to remember one thing. We're human. And being human means we're beautifully complex creatures, with brains that often prefer the path of least resistance, the instant gratification route. This is precisely why embarking on new habits like transforming our mornings can initially feel like an uphill battle. Yet there's something incredibly freeing in acknowledging this fact. It's not a flaw, it's just part of the human experience. Now, let's channel some Stoicism into this concept. Stoicism teaches us the importance of self-compassion and understanding alongside its calls for discipline and resilience. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal writings, often reminded himself to be patient and forgiving with his own shortcomings. He knew that berating oneself for every slip-up was not the path to growth. Instead, he advocated for recognizing our errors, learning from them, and then letting them go. This approach is crucial when we're trying to cultivate new morning routines, or any habit for that matter. Those first few days or even weeks can be tough. Your alarm goes off, and every fiber of your being wants to stay cocooned in the warmth of your bed. And let's be honest, there will be days when you'll give in to that desire. That's okay. The key is what you do next. Do you beat yourself up, spiraling into a cycle of guilt and self-criticism? Or do you take a breath, forgive yourself, and see the next morning as a fresh opportunity to try again? Forgiveness and patience with ourselves are not signs of weakness. They're indicators of strength and wisdom. They mean we're in it for the long haul, ready to navigate the ups and downs with grace. So as you work on embracing those early mornings, or any new habit, remember to take it easy on yourself. Celebrate the small victories, learn from the setbacks, and approach each day with a heart ready to try again. Number 6. Start with small victories. Consider the simple act of placing your alarm clock across the room. It's not just about making it physically harder to snooze. It's a statement. It's a commitment to start the day on your terms, to rise despite the comfort of the bed's embrace. It's a small act of defiance against the inertia of sleep and comfort, a step toward embracing the day with intention. Similarly, making your bed each morning might feel like a trivial task, especially when you're the only one who'll see it. Yet it's so much more than smoothing sheets and fluffing pillows. It's an exercise in care, in telling yourself that your environment and how you engage with it matters. It's about creating a space that reflects the order and respect you're cultivating within yourself. These small victories, as Marcus Aurelius would likely argue, are the building blocks of a disciplined life. They're the everyday choices that, while easy to overlook, cumulatively mold our character. Each time you choose to do these little things, you're casting a vote for the type of person you want to be. You're choosing to be someone who values discipline, order, and respect for oneself and one's environment. But why focus on these small acts? Because they're within everyone's reach. Not all of us can control the major events in our lives, the upheavals, the unexpected turns, but we can control how we respond to the start of each day, how we treat our immediate surroundings, and how we prime ourselves for whatever lies ahead. This is Stoicism in action, focusing on what's in our power to control and letting go of what isn't. 7. Find an accountability partner. The idea here is simple yet profoundly impactful. Sharing your goals with someone who not only supports you, but also holds you accountable can significantly amplify your chances of success. It transforms a personal journey into a shared adventure, making the path to fulfilling your morning routine and ultimately your life's purpose less daunting and more enjoyable. Think of your accountability partner as your ally in the pursuit of self-improvement. This person is there to remind you of your commitments when the warmth of your bed feels too comforting to leave in the early hours. They're there to encourage you when progress seems slow and to celebrate your victories, no matter how small. This relationship is a two-way street. It's about mutual support and encouragement, grounded in the understanding that we're all striving to be the best versions of ourselves. The Stoics, including Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, often emphasize the importance of community and relationships in the development of character and virtue. They believed in the power of wisdom shared, in learning from one another, and in the strength that comes from knowing you're not alone in your struggles. Finding an accountability partner in today's world is a nod to this timeless wisdom, recognizing that while the journey towards self-discipline and self-discipline and purpose is personal, it need not be solitary. So how do you find this accountability partner? Look for someone who shares your commitment to growth and self-improvement. A friend, family member, or colleague you trust. Be clear about your goals and the support you need, set regular check-ins, and be there for each other with encouragement and gentle nudges when needed. 8. Reflect on mortality. The Stoic practice of reflecting on mortality is a call to action, a prompt to live our lives with purpose and intention. It encourages us not to squander our time on trivialities, but to concentrate on creating a meaningful legacy. Every morning when we wake up, we're presented with a fresh opportunity to engage with life in a meaningful way, to contribute positively to the world around us, and to pursue personal growth and fulfillment. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often wrote about the fleeting nature of life, emphasizing the importance of living virtuously and making the most of the time we have. This wasn't meant to be somber. Rather, it was a liberating realization that freed him from petty concerns and allowed him to focus on his duties. The idea is that by keeping the end in mind, we're more likely to live our lives with purpose and clarity, prioritizing the things and relationships that truly matter. Remembering death in the context of our morning routines transforms how we approach each day. It's not just another day, it's a day that we've been gifted, one that's not guaranteed to anyone. This realization can profoundly impact how we choose to spend our time, the activities we engage in, the relationships we nurture, and the legacy we strive to build. It's a reminder to live fully, to love deeply, and to leave the world a little better than we found it. So each morning, take a moment to reflect. If this were my last day, would I be proud of how I'm spending it? 9. Visualize challenges. We're often told to focus on the positive, to visualize success and happiness in order to attract them into our lives. However, the Stoics, in their profound wisdom, offer a different perspective that's not only practical, but incredibly empowering. Negative visualization isn't about pessimism. Rather, it's a tool for resilience, preparation, and ultimately, greater appreciation of the present. The essence of this practice is to periodically imagine the challenges, losses, or difficulties you might face in life. This could range from minor inconveniences like a missed bus or a rainy day to more significant hardships such as the loss of a job or a loved one. The purpose isn't to dwell on these scenarios in a way that breeds fear or anxiety, but to mentally rehearse how you would cope with such situations should they arise. This process of visualization prepares you emotionally and mentally, making you less susceptible to being thrown off course by life's inevitable ups and downs. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus all believed that by contemplating the temporary nature of everything outside our control, we could cultivate a deeper sense of peace and resilience. Incorporating negative visualization into your morning routine can transform how you approach your day. Spend a few moments contemplating potential challenges, visualize your ideal response, then let it go, carrying forward preparedness and gratitude for the now. 10. End with gratitude. Incorporating gratitude into our lives, especially as we end our day, can have a transformative impact on our well-being and outlook. Keeping a gratitude journal is a beautifully simple yet profoundly effective way to cultivate this sense of appreciation. It's about taking a few moments before we sleep to reflect on the day and jot down a few things we're grateful for. This could be anything, from a kind gesture from a stranger, a beautiful sunset, the completion of a challenging task, or simply the comfort of our bed waiting to embrace us at the end of a long day. The act of writing down what we're grateful for shifts our focus from what's lacking in our lives to the abundance that's already present. It's a practice that aligns perfectly with Stoic teachings, which emphasize focusing on what we have rather than what we don't, on what's within our control rather than what isn't. This shift in perspective not only sets the stage for a peaceful night's sleep, free from the turmoil of unfulfilled desires or lingering frustrations, but it also primes our minds to begin the next day with a sense of purpose and appreciation. It allows us to close our day on a note of positivity, regardless of the challenges we may have faced, and transforms our first thoughts of the morning into quiet anticipation of the day ahead. Conclusion. As we wrap up this journey through the 10 strategies inspired by Stoicism, it's clear that each step, each practice is more than just a task. It's a pathway to cultivating a life of intention, resilience, and profound gratitude. Embracing these practices doesn't mean every day will be perfect, but it does mean that every day will be met with a stronger, more grateful, and more resilient you. You have within you the power to transform not just your mornings, but your entire life into a reflection of the Stoic ideals of virtue, wisdom, and contentment. Here's to mornings filled with purpose, days lived with intention, and a life brimming with gratitude.